The chairman of the St. Kitts and Nevis National Covid-19 Task Force said he would step down if evidence can be produced that members of the task force have privilege against following the restrictions imposed by the lockdown and curfew now in place. In what was a passionate response to various criticisms and allegations he said were leveled against the task force and its operations, Chairman Samuel addressed such allegations and other issues during his 23rd June presentation at the NEOC COVID-19 briefing.
We need to get out the crisis, and we need everybody involved. This is not about the task force alone. This is not about the HEOC or the medical professionals. This is everybody. Superintendent Henry spoke about the persons who are breaking the curfews. I also heard that there was a party and a catamaran. And I am asking Superintendent Henry to investigate this situation. Because if this is so, we will be pursuing prosecution against these individuals. This must not be. There is no privilege for no one. The other day when I left here to go home the other day, I was stopped 4 times by the police. Buckley's, by the stop, and Monkey Hill, by the airport, and still beyond. And guess what? I had to turn back to Nemo to collect the document for the commissioner that he asked me to. They are doing their job, so there is no special privilege. The other day I was driving behind Minister Phipps. She was stopped as well. Twice. There is no special privilege. Whether you enter in the country, whether you're on land or sea, there is no special privilege. I'm hearing this rhetoric about persons entering the country and free to move about. I would like the evidence, and if you bring the evidence that someone entered this country without the proper control measures, I will officially step down right now as the chair of the National COVID-19 Task Force and tender that resignation. Nobody under the National COVID-19 Task Force watch has entered this country without any type of restrictive measures that are in place. None.
According to Samuel, the task force has operated in an open manner and in the interest of citizens and residents of the Federation. He indicated that the divisive arguments over restrictions regarding vaccinated and non-vaccinated persons must end if the country can begin economic recovery.
We are in a crisis. The crisis as it is right now cannot be segmented. Yes, we want you who are vaccinated to feel proud, and we are proud of you for what you have stepped up to do. But we cannot compromise those that are not vaccinated. That's the reality. When we get out the crisis, when we bring back St. Kitts to that stage whereby we have no cases basically, or things are under control that we can work with whatever numbers or threshold that we have, then we can look at the restriction easing up of some of the restrictions. And we have best practices from Barbados, Grenada. We have looked at what the BVI is doing. We see Bahamas, what they're going to implement. We see what's happening in Jamaica. We see what St. Martin is doing. So we are looking at all the best practices globally. Look at Israel. Israel going through another a wave of COVID-19 cases, positive cases. So therefore, we are not doing bad at all. It took Barbados 6 months to bring the outbreak under control. It took Antigua over 6 months, almost to a year, to bring this under control. And we are poised to bring this particular crisis under control with your assistance in a shorter period than that.
Samuel called for the cooperation of everyone in order to tackle the COVID-19 community outbreak effectively. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.